This is Mac OS Ken.
An Apple price target goes higher. Apple loses a battle in Germany. And Apple payment services see global expansion. It is Wednesday, the 19th of March, 2025. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken. Brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Rogue Amoeba, makers of powerful audio tools for your Mac. Get 20% off any purchase with code MacOSKen at macaudio.com/Ken. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSKen. Evercore analyst Ahmed Darianani has raised his price target on Apple shares. It's not shocking that he would do that specifically, but given current tumult in the market and last week's weakness for ticker symbol AAPL, any price target increase is somewhat surprising. I seriously had to check to make sure that this was a current story, but yeah, Apple 3.0 says it is. That site posted part of a note Darianani wrote wherein he argued that people are paying too much attention to iPhone and too little attention to other stuff Apple can do and keeps doing to make money. While investors over-index on iPhone growth, wrote the analyst, we think there is less of a focus on Apple's ability to keep growing earnings per share and free cash flow growth consistently. That's thanks to a number of factors, including Apple's enviable gross margin, share buybacks, and believe it or not, he says, artificial intelligence. The way he sees it, Apple is positioned to benefit from AI monetization without having to invest their free cash flow into GPUs. According to the note, he and his see monetization occurring on multiple fronts over time. In Darianani's estimation, Apple is positioned to sustain mid-single-digit sales and low to mid-teens free cash flow and earnings per share growth over the next several years, with less volatility and high consistency. With that, he maintains an outperform rating on Apple shares. He used Tuesday's note to raise his price target on the shares from $260 to $275. A somewhat confusing story out of Germany. A piece from 9 to 5 Mac says Apple has lost an antitrust appeal in the country. Confusing, as I say, on at least a couple of levels. First, the piece says regulators in Germany would need to prove that a company has acted in a way that interferes with competition, same as they would have to do here in the States. But here in the States, regulators have to show actual harm to consumers. In Europe, the piece says, regulators only need to show that the anti-competitive behavior creates the potential for consumers to be harmed. On one hand, that sounds like overreach. On the other, waiting until the consumer is harmed before doing something about it is a bit like putting a seatbelt on someone after they've been in a terrible car accident. According to 9 to 5 Mac, Germany's Federal Cartel Office has determined that the way Apple runs the App Store creates the potential for harm. That gives Germany the right to order the iPhone maker to change its policies as far as Germany is concerned, and that brings me to my second point of confusion. Isn't this what the European Union's Digital Markets Act was for? Germany seems to think that that wasn't enough. The 9 to 5 Mac piece cites a Reuters report that says Apple lost its appeal against the German Federal Cartel Office. It had been fighting the office's designation of Apple as a company of paramount cross-market significance for competition. 9 to 5 Mac says that loss gives Germany the power to impose rules on how iPhone apps are sold. Kinda like the European Union's Digital Markets Act, under which Apple's App Store is already functioning in Germany. Yeah, sure, why not? There's Apple Pay and Apple Pay adjacent news today. A piece from Mac Rumors says Apple's contactless payment solution has expanded to Puerto Rico. Or more so. Though Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, Mac rumor says Apple Pay was not previously available for Puerto Rico banks, though citizens in Puerto Rico have had access to Apple Card and have been able to use Apple Pay with U.S. credit and debit cards. Still, the service has expanded, with the Puerto Rican bank Banco Popular now supporting the service. That means folks with credit and debit cards backed by that bank can slip those bad boys into Apple Wallet and pay the day away. As for the Apple Pay adjacent news, a piece from 9 to 5 Mag had Tap to Pay on iPhone growing in a big way on Tuesday. The service, which lets retailers take contactless payments with no hardware besides an iPhone required, expanded to 9 new countries. Those include Bulgaria, Finland, Hungary, Liechtenstein, Poland, Portugal, Slovakia, Slovenia, and Switzerland. The Village People said, "You can't stop the music," to which Apple said, "Hold my beer," on Tuesday. If you had problems with Apple Music on Tuesday, like not being able to hear it, it wasn't just you. Apple's system status page had some users experiencing intermittent issues with the service. That started around 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Apple listed the issue as resolved just under 2 hours later. From an update on a service to an update for an Apple accessory, Mac Rumor says Apple on Tuesday released new firmware for its MagSafe charger, specifically the 25-watt version. No word on why, no way to prompt the update. Just know that it's out there doing something. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, Rogue Amoeba, makers of powerful audio tools for your Mac. I gotta tell you about a really fun app that they have called Farrago. Think of it like a soundboard or a cart wall, if the words cart wall mean anything to you. Basically, if you want a lot of audio clips at your fingertips for a live or live-to-tape presentation, this is for you. With Farrago, you can instantly play sound bites, audio effects, music clips, pre-recorded interviews, show intros, show outros. Any sound is ready to play instantly with a tap of the mouse or keyboard or a peripheral like a Stream Deck. Fire your sounds off one at a time or play clips in sequence in predefined lists. Seriously, this app by itself makes me miss live so much. Wondering whether it would work for you? Well, you can see for free. Every Rogue Amoeba app has a free version to try before you spend a dime. Check out Rogue Amoeba's amazing tools at macaudio.com/Ken and save 20% on any purchase with code MacOSKen. From capturing audio to sharing it with the world, Rogue Amoeba has the tools you need for your Mac. Get 20% off their great audio tools with code MacOSKen at macaudio.com/Ken. That's 20% off with code MacOSKen at macaudio.com/Ken. If you're planning to visit Apple's Fifth Avenue store in New York City in the middle of the night, do not try that until Saturday. The piece from Mac Rumors says one of Apple's only 24-hour stores is not open 24 hours a day this week. The store under the big glass cube will be closed from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. tonight, tomorrow, and Friday, according to the store's website. The piece says Apple is performing maintenance on the store's glass cube entrance, something Apple is said to be calling cube preservation. The Buccaneers are sailing back our way. Apple TV Plus issued a press release Tuesday announcing a second season for the show, The Buccaneers, starting in mid-June. Inspired by Pulitzer Prize-winning author Edith Wharton's unfinished novel of the same name, The second season of The Buccaneers sees the fun-loving young American girls back with even more romance, drama, intrigue, and adventure. Lots of people I've never heard of in this one, and Christina Hendricks. The full first season is available to stream now on Apple TV+. The first of 8 episodes in Season 2 drops on Wednesday, the 18th of June. They'll run one per week after that, through Wednesday, the 6th of August. And finally today, news of a new podcast coming soon from Apple TV+. Apple's entertainment arm issued a press release Tuesday teasing the Apple original podcast, Big Time, and it's got a big-time voice. According to the release, the 14-episode series explores audacious crimes, fake kidnappings, elaborate robberies, even stolen sharks, introducing a new true story each week about a larger-than-life scam or scheme that almost worked. Hosting the show, Reservoir Dog Steve Buscemi, he's quoted in the release saying, "I think a lot of people, myself included, are fascinated by folks who look at the rules and think, no, I get a better idea. Big Time isn't just true crime," he says. "It's a carnival of chaos, and I'm excited for listeners to tune in." Buscemi's not only the host. The show is being co-produced by his company Olive Productions, along with Lee Eisenberg's Piece of Work Entertainment and Campside Media. The show starts next Monday, the 24th of March. You can catch a trailer for it now on Apple Podcasts. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Rogue Amoeba. Get 20% off on any purchase with code MacOSKen at macaudio.com/Ken. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.